Okay, this is going to be my second video regarding beginner guitar playing, and basically I'm going to make this in like steps. The first thing I would encourage you to do, well, let me start out by saying that there's 7 major chords: A, B, C, D, E, F, and G. So there's 7 major chords, and I realize someone's going to say, well, that's not a B, that's a B7. I know. I try to avoid bar chords. Bar chords is where you have to put your finger all the way across the strings and then finger with the other 3. I can play them, I can do it, but most beginners try to avoid it, and that's fine. So you can get by playing a B and B7. Now I'm not going to get into all the fingering because you can look up chord charts everywhere. But what I do want to say is that strings are typically tuned E, A, D, G, B, E. And that's from the 6th to the 1st. Whenever you see them talk about the first string, they're talking about the bottom one, the thin one, the high E. And but usually when we're talking about tuning them, we're tuning them from the top down, E, A, D, G, B, E. So of the 7 major chords, what I would suggest is to start with 3 of those. You'll figure out the rest as you learn other songs, but I think for me, the best thing for me was to start getting to the point where I could play something. And so the 3 chords you're going to want to learn are G, and you can look up the chord charts. I'm not going to waste a bunch of time showing you what frets I'm on. That's pretty easy to look up. Most guitar players can find that just by Googling it. You probably need that chord chart with you anyway. But G, C, D, back to C and G. So what the first step of learning is to be able to switch those chords quickly. You want your fingers to land where they need to land quickly. That's part of the muscle memory, and that's going to take a lot of time to do that. You're going to find yourself sitting there for hours until you can get those fingers to land where they land, and you don't have any dead strings. So that's step number 1. And then once you get that, you could probably even start strumming out your first tune. So that's step 1. I would say stop the video and work on that. It may take you days, it may take you weeks, so you can comfortably make that change. But you got to be able to do that and do that without getting dead strings. So once you've got that figured out, I think the next thing I would do is come to the picking hand. And there's a lot of videos out there where they talk about up, down, up, down. I don't get into that. It never did anything for me. I think a lot of that comes with as you learn the music. But what I would learn down here, just to get control of the pick, is number 1, how do you hold the pick? Basically, you take the pick and you pinch it between your index finger and your thumb. And I don't like a lot sticking out. Now, everybody does this differently, but I don't like a lot sticking out. And then I'd like to hold it as loose as possible while not losing control of it. And I like to use my wrist more than I do my arm. There's a lot of folks that will do this, and I would rather rest the heel of my hand on my pins here and do that. Now, a good exercise for controlling this picking hand is to start learning to do the alternate picking. Now I'm in G, and what I'm plucking here is the 6th string and the 5th string. 6th string, 5th string, 6th string, 5th string, 6th string, 5th string, just like that. Then when I go to C, I'm plucking 5th and 4th. Back to G, 6th and 5th. Then I'm going to D. Now, there I'm on D, I'm actually doing it in reverse. I'm hitting the higher pitch string first on the 1 beat and the lower pitch. So then I'm hitting basically the 4th string, which is my D string. It's open. So that's 6 and 5 on G, C, 5 and 4, then D is 4 and 5. Get that control down. It's not easy, and it will take you a long time, but it's muscle memory. Okay, that would be step 2. Stop the tape, figure that out. So once you figure out get the muscle memory for your chords and get your plucking down like that, then what I want you to learn is how to move transition between chords. Like if you come into G, you're going to go. That over and over. You'll be sick of it, but do it. Then to transition into C, you're going to go on the 5th string. Then go backwards back to G. Then the D depends on what chord you're coming from. If I'm going to D from G, if I'm going from G to D, then I'm doing it on the 5th string, 2nd fret. Pluck the D string, be the 4th string. Now, if you're also transitioning to D from C, there's a couple of ways I've done it. Plucking the 4th string. Now the other way you can do it from C to D is it's still all on the D string, the 4th string. Okay, it's like this. So if you're going from, I guess the practice would be to practice going from G to D to C, and then practice from G to C to D. Something like this. Step 1 is to be able to switch chords. Step 2 is to be able to alternate pick down here. Step 3 would be to be able to transition from chord to chord. Then you can start playing some music. Now, I want to do something with G, C, D. I start to play Rocky Top. It's got other chords. No. Let me. So that's song Dooley, and that's pretty much what it's played all the way through. It's just G, C, D, and or you could go back to the one that you. And now you've got your chord transitioning going on, and you can practice the chord transitioning. But that would be where I would start. That's how I started. Is basically at least start with 3 chords, G, C, D, be able to switch, land on those chords with some accuracy, then throw in the alternate picking, get to where you can do that. Throw in the chord changes. So that's where I would start. I wouldn't take it any further than that in general beginner lesson, but that'll get you started with chord changes and then alternate picking. And you can see I don't hit it all the time, and I don't know as many guitar players will hit exactly the note they're aiming for. I've been working on that a little bit with some flat picking exercises. Which are totally different what I'm going to cover in this video. But I think the first step is to be able to get those, land on those chords. And I will say too, if you get to watching some other videos, you will see I play my G like that, sometimes I play it like that, sometimes I play it like this. That's one of the reasons why I don't want to get into too much of the fingering of this, because everybody plays these things slightly differently. As long as you're playing G, I don't think it matters how you play it. Sometimes I'll play G like this because I'm going to switch quickly to C and then back maybe. So sometimes I mix it up. You learn that over time. You'll be able to play those chords differently in different shapes. And then of course there's other chords, D minor, D7. There's other alternatives, but you have to kind of start somewhere. This is where I would start. I know there's a lot of videos out there where they start teaching you scales. Teach you scales or teach you runs. I don't want to get into teaching that to a beginner. It didn't help me to try to start off picking individual notes when I could barely strum chords. So to me, I think the best thing is to try to get started playing some music, start enjoying it, and then as you learn more music, you'll learn more techniques. There, I messed that up, but you'll learn other techniques like like being able to alternate some fingers in a chord. But that's you got to build the calluses. You got to be able to hit the chords. You got to be able to strum and pick, hit the strings that you're trying to pick, and be able to transition between the chords first before you try anything else. In my opinion. There again, I'm a back porch picker. I'm not a trained music teacher, and this is just my opinion. It's the way I would teach somebody if they said, "Hey, teach me to play guitar." This is the way I'd get them started, because then they can start playing something, and after that, then they can figure out some of the other techniques, some of the other music theory, and things of that nature. So hopefully that's helpful. That's all I wanted to do with that. So good luck.